ancestors, guides, allow me to speak my truth with full clarity. Allow me to get the message out that I'm meant to get out. Thank you for your support and guidance always. Amen. And she's back with another one. Oh my goodness. Can we clap it up for me, like, real quick? Like, please, like, poetry snaps. Poetry snaps, honestly. Poetry snaps. I'm back. I told you guys that I wouldn't disappoint and that I would be back. And I am. And I am. So welcome back to Speak Your Truth. I'm your host, NCV, aka Nia. And I'm happy to be back. I'm actually really excited. My cat is like sitting right in front of me, cleaning herself. Like that's what I want her to do. Like, okay, you stopped. All right, respect. I'm so excited to be back, and I kid you guys not, the same thing happened yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah. No. 2 nights ago, I tried to sit down and I tried to record a video. And this video was actually not the same topic as what I'm about to discuss right now. And I think I'm just starting to understand the importance of true inspired action and just like truly flowing with what is resonating in the moment and what message I need to get out in the moment. And I feel like these ideas flow to me when I'm actually in a calm state. Like, I had to meditate before doing this. So yeah. And it's also the full moon. So, you know, what a better way. What a better way. What a better way. What a better way to come into this second episode, right? Okay. Well, before we really get into it, today I'm doing it a little different. I'm not doing tea. Usually I do tea. Today I am doing water, and the water is not even in my Positivity Please mug. She's in a very beautiful glass. If you're watching on YouTube, you see she's in a very beautiful glass. Today we're doing water because let's just approach things with clarity. Let's cleanse ourselves, you know? So let's start off with a sip of water. Sometimes you just need some good old water, you know? Water is my go-to, though. I'm not gonna lie. I don't really be drinking soda and stuff like that. So, yeah. All right. If you do see me in the video looking off to my right, of course, I'm looking at my notes. I'm also making sure that I'm recording. So that's what's going on there. But, you know, tonight is a full moon, and it's the full moon in Aries. I am someone who follows the moon cycles. But the crazy part about it is tonight I feel called to talk about letting go of your limiting beliefs, and full moons are all about release. So I guess today we're going to have a conversation about releasing our limiting beliefs so that we can reach our full potential. And I want to talk about what my journey has been like with my limiting beliefs and how I've gotten to a point where I can let those go. So I had to take a moment to really like dive deep into myself and be like, well, where are my limiting beliefs stemming from? And I shit you not. It stems from childhood. It always just goes back, doesn't it? I would say that when I was like diving deep into this and I was thinking about it, I'm like, well, why do I have these limiting beliefs and what is causing them? So I'm telling y'all that it is different for everyone where your limiting beliefs may stem from. We all live different experiences, but mine truly, I would say the root of it is my childhood and how I was raised. And I don't feel like there was enough encouragement and support, enough positive reinforcement, and just being in the environment that I was, being impoverished, and not like just seeing that as a norm, like it really causes your brain to think things have to be more complicated than they are, and they just don't. They just don't. But growing up, I feel like, you know, I feel like I've spoken about this before, but I feel like I've had to parent myself, right? So it's like a child parenting themselves when they don't know much themselves is actually really difficult. But I guess I would say, like, when I think back to my childhood, I'm like, for example, like, I don't feel like confidence was built up enough in me. And again, I feel like my dad would do his best to aid in my confidence, but when you are a woman, it's kind of like you expect that confidence to be taught to you from a woman's perspective. But also, what I've learned too along my experience is that a lot of these things are actually external validation. So it wasn't taught to me. So a lot of it is me looking in the outside world for things to show me my worth, right? Not okay, not good. And I just guess, like, for example, with the confidence thing, it's like I had to build that within myself. And limiting beliefs kind of like clash with that. It clashes with confidence because limiting beliefs honestly tear you down. So when you release limiting beliefs, then you're allowing your true, authentic, confident self to come out. And when it comes to my childhood, like I said, like my environment, being impoverished, living in poverty, like seeing the struggle and thinking like this is the norm. When you're in it as a kid, you don't see anything wrong with it. You don't really understand it. You're just like, this is just my life. You don't really actually process what's going on. And a lot of time our parents don't tell us about that suffering or express it to us or, teach us about it so that we can avoid it. And you kind of just have to live through your experience and figure out who you are and what you want for yourself. But I've learned in my adult life, or as I got into my adult life, that a lot of factors from my childhood cause a lot of limiting beliefs to take over me and make me think that a lot of the dreams that I had as a child would not be possible. And it's because of the examples of people that I had around me and not enough encouragement to just be and do whatever I want, right? So also I can say too, in my childhood and even growing up, like there was an expectation that was put on me, of me just like always doing, I guess there was just like high expectations placed on me that made me feel like I had to do certain things again to, I guess, to in a sense prove my worth to myself as well. And it's just like, no. Like, for example, because when you grow up in an environment like that where you just feel like you're in survival mode, you're always overly productive and thinking you have to keep doing more and more and more and more. But in reality, like, sometimes you need to not do more and you need to sit the fuck down and you need to rest for a second and recuperate so that you can rebuild the energy so that you can create more. There's a balance. With everything, there is a balance. So being in an environment like that and obviously coming to a point where I process things, I just felt like I needed to be overly productive and I needed to focus on never going back into that point of survival mode. And that was the problem. Because then at the end of the day, like, my childhood is still playing in the back of my brain to be like, hey, I don't want this to happen, but like these were the circumstances I was served, and there wasn't much I could do about it, and who's to say that I can change my circumstances, if that even just made sense. But I just feel like growing up, there was a lot of expectations put on me, high expectations. Like as a child, like I feel like, because once again, going back to the being an empath and everything, not even just being an empath, I'm just like trying to like really think about it, like just also having to parent myself. Like at the end of the day, I grew up way faster than I should have, and so it also caused me to have a lot of high expectations of myself, because I felt like there were high expectations put on me by my mom, my father, like just in general family. And a lot of it also had to do with the fact that I was, you know, a child that was really great in school. Like I did really, really great in school, and that's cool or whatever. And I think like people just had this like perceived notion of what my path should look like. And when I tried to go by the path that others tried to set forward for me, I realized that that path wasn't for me. And I'm trying to make other people proud rather than making myself proud. So it ended up just crumbling. Like, for example, like I was expected to go to college, and college actually really made me depressed. Like it added a weight that I didn't need, and I felt like it was stupid because I was going to college not for something like I'm getting a doctorate. I'm going to undergrad school for my photography, and I'm like, I'm just like, it just doesn't make sense when you think about it in a more societal way. It just doesn't make sense for me to do that. And so I ended up at some point making that decision of being like, I'm dropping out. Like, this is not doing it for me. Like, I love learning so much. So don't get me wrong. When I took a lot of my courses, I was very grateful and excited to learn. But also, that's the thing too, like being in a household where we're impoverished impoverished, it, and why can't I say that word now, impoverished. You start thinking about things like as a child that you don't need to think about. So I'm sitting there thinking like, I'm running myself up in debt. Who's to say that I'm gonna come out of college and I'm gonna like make my dreams reality with my photography, and be this photographer who like really is using her art to be the voice for those who are voiceless. Like who's to say that's gonna truly happen, and I'm gonna have all the funds at the end of the day to pay off my debt? It stems from that mindset of I'm impoverished. And it's just like, if I didn't have to worry about that, I actually think I would have done great things, and I probably would have dabbled in more than just my photography. But that didn't happen. And I was actually supposed to go to NYU, but my mom was so concerned about how that debt would be paid after I graduated, instead of understanding that actually she wouldn't have to pay anything because my mom's actually disabled. And it turned into this whole thing where she was just like, she just had unnecessary concerns that didn't make sense, and thought certain things were going to be taken away from her. It just didn't make sense. And obviously now I understand why. And that's a whole nother subject, a whole nother thing. But that's where I felt like I was meant to be. If I was going to be on the college path, that's where I felt like I was meant to be. I felt like I was supposed to be in New York, and I felt like I was supposed to be creating with other creators, and I felt like I needed to be on my own. And my parent didn't want that for me, and also put impoverished mindsets on me by saying, no, this is too expensive. No. So I didn't get to live that part of my dream. So I let that part go. So there's the start of like, you know, the purity of your inner child's imaginations and beliefs, right? That's just an example from my childhood. But certain things like that almost made me feel like I couldn't pursue my passions and make them tangible. So, yeah, my limiting beliefs I've learned stem from my childhood, stem from my upbringing, stem from high expectations that were placed on me. And just like my parents also just creating certain paths that they thought was fitting for me, but it wasn't ultimately fitting for me. But honestly, my dad, I feel like he was very supportive of whatever I wanted to do. I was actually always someone who would say that whatever your passion is, like, turn it from a hobby into something you do for work, which is great sometimes, but sometimes that also doesn't always work, and it's actually can make it more stressful. So I believe that you can do anything that you want with your passions, and you can turn them into tangible, real life, 3D like things, but you have to go where your soul is calling you. And if it's not calling you in that direction, then that is actually redirection that you it's like trying to realign you back on the right path. But anyways, like when I'm thinking about these limiting beliefs, I've noticed that these limiting beliefs cause a lot of negative self-talk, and it just makes you think you deserve less than, that you are less than, or that you can't achieve your full potential. And it's literally like sometimes it's your ego trying to protect you and self-preserve so that you don't get hurt from something called failure. And actually, failure is what makes you stronger, and failure is redirection as well. If you failed at something, you learn from it and learn what you did wrong, and then you pick yourself back up and then choose another direction. It's all supposed to be a learning process. It's not supposed to be like you get it right the first time you do something in your life. Like, that's just not how life is meant to be. So, you know, I feel as though, like I said, a lot of this stems from childhood. And so when I'm thinking about it, the time when I was very depressed was during my teenage years. And so I understand now as well that, like, depression really heightens limiting beliefs, and it makes you think that the impossible isn't possible, but actually anything that you want to become, that you want to make tangible reality possible, you can. You really can. It's just how much do you believe in it, you know? So I guess now we can move into like how I've actually let go of these limiting beliefs. It's been a very long process. And like I said in my last episode, healing is non-linear. It's not just going to be on an up and up path, and it's not going to stay constant. It's going to go up and down. And that's part of it. And I would say that letting go of limiting beliefs required a lot of retraining my thoughts, and it required a lot of solitude. I'm very big on solitude because it's made me very connected to myself, but I'm conscious of it as well because there always needs to be a balance in everything. Girl, I think I need to do a video on balance because I keep saying it. But yeah, I pretty much would sit here and I would observe my thought patterns and understand what triggers those thought patterns. Why am I being triggered to think that this thing that I want to make into reality, I can't do it? Or why am I now telling myself that I can't do something that I am more than capable of doing? And then from there, once I understand what's triggering the thought, then I filter out, what's truly me and versus what's my negative self-talk. What's the what's the what's the part of my brain that's lying to me, and Do I really believe that about myself, or is that something that that part of my mind wants to tell me to keep me safe? Because at the end of the day, a lot of times when you're stuck in your limiting beliefs as well, like you stay stagnant, and you stay complacent in something, um, and that doesn't allow you to move forward. You have to free yourself from that, and you have to make yourself uncomfortable in order for you to move forward. Like, you don't need to fear anything but God. Like, you're not gonna, like, I don't know, like, you're not gonna crumble. At the end of the day, failure is okay, and believing in yourself is even better than okay. Like, you really need to understand that you're not your thoughts, and we all have flowing thoughts, and we're all human, and we all have negative thoughts, and a lot of us are probably hard on ourselves. I definitely am someone who is very hard on myself, but I've learned to give myself grace. So there's a lot of different things that's incorporated in this process of letting go limiting beliefs. But once you observe the thought pattern and what triggers those thought patterns, you filter out, like I said, what's truly you versus the negative self-talk, right? And so when you have these thoughts, though, you want to just let them pass. You want to just be like, okay, I hear you, brain. You're thinking this way because when you were whatever age, you felt like your life was going to go this way, or this triggered you to feel this way, or whatever it may be. And then tell your brain, like, but you know what? At the end of the day, I'm not in that same position anymore. And whatever I would like in my life to happen, I will make it happen. Because at the end of the day, we are creators of our own lives, in the sense of, like, you have choice. So don't let your thoughts choose for you. Choose for yourself. Like, truly, whatever you want to do, choose it, commit to it, and do it. No one else is going to do it but you. And so at the end of the day, our limiting beliefs, I feel like, is also there to teach us how to pick ourselves back up. A lot of times I feel like, for me, I can speak on my own behalf, but a lot of times when I'm looking for external validation, I've found that external validation is not helping me, but what I feel within is what's always going to help me and guide me best. Nobody outside of you knows what's best for you but you. So you need to make sure that you have a healthier voice inside of you, and that you talk kindly to yourself. And that's not easy. Like I said, it's been a very long process, and still, like, I'm human. Okay, my emotions don't stay constant. I'm not happy 24/7. So it's like certain things that, I especially as a creator, like, if I create something and I feel like it's not the way I want it to be, I'm like, it irritates me. Like I said, I tried to record a video 2 nights ago, didn't work out. But instead of me being like, this is trash, it's not gonna work, or I'm not gonna do another episode, I said, it's okay for me to rest. It's okay for me to scratch this. And my camera even died on me. That's how I knew it wasn't aligned. It's okay to scratch this and start again when my soul redirects me in that way. Like, I don't need to be that rigid with myself, Like, it's okay. It's okay that didn't work. Again, failure will redirect you. Like, I can't say it. I can't say it enough, guys. I can't say it enough. But, what I've learned from releasing my limiting beliefs as well is that releasing them relieves me of the need of external validation and even shame, Like, it kind of goes hand in hand, because it makes you think of, like, whatever that limiting belief is. If I'm thinking about external validation, I'm also thinking about how people will view me and see me. And it's like, at the end of the day, we're all human, and it's like we only live this one lifetime on earth unless you reincarnate. Let's not get let me not get too deep. Unless you reincarnate. But you are in the now, right? And you live this one life. Like, why not just be everything that you intended to be? Why not just do what you wanted to do? Why conform to societal expectations or expectations of your family, and it doesn't even feel like authentically you, and you're just wasting time? And time is an illusion, but you know, why waste that time? You know what I'm saying? So if you're in the now right now, like, what is it that you want to be? What is it that you want to do? And why not just do it? Why not just do it? There's always a way to make something happen. You know what I'm saying? Now, don't be like illogical and be like, I want to be rich in 24 hours. That's crazy. We're not talking about stuff like that. That just doesn't even make sense. Like, let's be logical at the same time. But whatever is meant for you will find you no matter what. Like, no matter what. Whatever's written for you in your story is going to find you. That's just the truth of it. But it's all about how quickly you release your limiting beliefs. The quicker you release it, the things that are supposed to flow into your life and bring you that abundance, it will. So, yeah. I will also say that, you know, when you are truly living for yourself and you're no longer living and doing by what others think you should be doing, but living and doing for what your soul calls for, you just feel lighter overall. And it actually brings you an immense amount of confidence in self. Now, again, we are human, so it goes up and down. So it's not like, for me, for example, I'm not confident 100% of the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, it everything fluctuates because there's a balance. There's a balance. But, you know, when you're moving from a place of authenticity and what your soul is calling for, you will understand that any setbacks, any failures, like, it was meant to happen in order to bring you to that point of success. And how we measure success is all very different, and maybe we can have another episode on that too. Damn, I have a lot I want to talk to y'all about. But yeah, I guess along the way of it all, like, just remember that you're human and you deserve grace. So don't allow those limiting beliefs to just consume you, you know? And I will share that my limiting beliefs at one point actually caused me to lack faith in the divine heavily. And that was during the time when I was a teenager and I was depressed. I definitely lacked faith in God and you know, even my own power, you know. And so when I looked inward, I realized all along it was just actually just me not using my power of belief. And so I could only envision and see what the negative side of my brain had told me. Whatever my brain was telling me, whatever my mind and thoughts were telling me, I just believed it to be true. So, like, even when you sit there and you see some situation that you don't foresee what the outcome can be, and you're already thinking the most negative outcome, you are setting yourself up for failure. Like, you should really think in a more positive, optimistic way, but also release control from a situation like that and allow it to just unfold however it's meant to unfold. So as long as you're honest about the things that you want to do and you want for yourself, if you keep seeing those things in a more positive and optimistic way and believing in self, it holds true power. And so that, that would bring me into the conversation of manifestation. But maybe we can talk about that next episode, honestly. But I just want to say that the important lesson of it all is to never forget that your most important relationship in your life is with self. Like, it's genuinely with yourself. You will not find any answers outside of yourself. Anything that you are looking for, that you think that you need, you have within you already. Anything that you admire in the outside world of other people, you hold those same qualities within yourself. So I just want to tell you guys that you can literally cultivate anything that you want. So if and this is where I'm starting to get into manifestation, but if you're thinking something is gonna go bad and that's what you keep thinking and you just don't see it any other way, you may just cultivate that, whatever it is, to go bad, let's not do that. Let's cultivate greatness. Let's be great. Let's do great things, right? So, and the only way to do that is within believing yourself, So I guess the message is to know that you are a powerful, badass person and that you can do anything that your heart desires. You can be anything that your heart desires. And I feel like this is why I'm sitting here right now and I'm able to come back to my podcast, because my limiting beliefs are shedding and they can't control my narrative. They can't tell me the outcome of my life. Living in the unknown and living in the unknown, trusting the unknown, and choosing to be in the present moment is how you let go of limiting beliefs for real. Like, you really just are focused on the present, and at that point, your past and your future doesn't exist. Being present is a great way to cultivate greatness and to let go of what you can't control, what isn't true about yourself. Like, be grateful for the moment that you're in and take full advantage of the moment that you're in. So yeah, I think that next episode we're gonna segue into manifestation. But for tonight, under this full moon, allow yourself to just release what no longer serves you in order to welcome in what is meant for you. And so, just remember that you must let go in order to make room for the new. The more that you hold on to baggage that does not serve a purpose in your life and your path, then the more you delay what is meant for you. Period. Period poo. Let me see if I have a poem for y'all. I didn't plan on a poem, but I'm kind of thinking off the top, like maybe I should say a poem at the end of each episode. And now I can't decide. Okay, I think I am gonna read this poem. I actually posted this poem on IG, and I think it actually, yeah, I think this is perfect. I think we should read this poem. So this poem I wrote back in July of this year, and it is called Happier Days. Living in the now, already happy within. Somehow, some way, I sense even happier days ahead. To be happy is not to be constantly joyous. It is to flow. It is to feel. And after, rebalance the soul. It takes mastery. Life is not linear. Nothing is picture perfect. Perspective shifts replace perfectionist idealism, cynicism, and self-criticism. Conquer discomfort and explore a new you, a new psyche. Stay in comfort and reap debilitating stagnancy. The choice is yours. Remember though, everything happens for you, not to you. Happier days ahead. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Speak Your Truth with NCV. I'm your host, Nia, and I can't thank y'all enough for the love and the support. Genuinely, I love y'all, and let's just release what's not meant for us no more. All right, y'all. Bye. Mwah.